Alrighty then. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Set Here, the Apocalyptic Optimath. You are also listening to the Apocalyptic Optimath channel. Some people might know me as, also known as, the Ether might also know me as King the Conqueror and the High Evolutionary. um, I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys are having a great day. So, all I'm trying to say here is, as below, so above. So, the thing about Lucifer, Lucifer is a complicated spirit, God, whichever you want to call him. Um, for the ones that have been ostracized and rejected by humanity, you have to understand that when this happens to you, is because you are carrying his spirit within you. Some people mistake that spirit for being the spirit of Jesus. And that is utterly wrong. And you're being fooled into thinking that that's the spirit that's within you, that's the light that's within you. From my knowledge, there is no such thing as I guess you could consider Jesus a god because he's been deified at this point. He's obviously been deified. He's obviously an idol. So, but in all my years of being a Christian, being a born again Christian, might I add, I have never seen Jesus. I've never spoken to Jesus. Not once. And I think it's the same for everybody else. I do not believe that anyone has ever seen Jesus or spoken to Jesus. I don't think Jesus speaks to people if he exists, and he might exist on a specific vibration or frequency, but mostly when people interact with spirit, it's mostly seen as God. And I believe that that's the case for Christians. When Christians do have a specific happening event in their spiritual event in their lives, they mostly see God first. They don't see Jesus. And I don't think they see him after either. He doesn't come in or out. And in all my years of practicing magic, any real spirit that exists in the ether, you will be able to communicate with if you do the right rituals and you have the right amount of belief. So I think it's clear. I think it's not a fallacy to presume that this energy of rejection and isolation is an obvious Lucifer energy. Because if isolation, who is the first to have been isolated, to have been rejected? Mind you, God is a all-knowing, wise spirit. The funny tidbit about that is, let's say you're a Buddhist monk and you tend to have a mischievous attitude. Your master is not going to reject you. He will try to make you understand things until it becomes at a point where if you are severely not listening and you're severely just not, you just don't want to know shit, then he'll kick you out. You know, like, you know, but it's not like you do something bad and then boom, you're out. And the reason why that is because the master is wise. Because the master has knowledge and he's wise. So he can deal with your mischievous persona. Especially if you're not that bad of a person. And you just tend to break things from time to time. If that's the only thing, then, you know, it's not a big deal. For the master, it's not a big deal. But then you have this God, this all-loving, all-knowing God that is Alpha, Omega, the entire universe, right? And one person does one thing bad, and all of a sudden, he's the worst person in the entire universe. That sounds kind of suspect. It sounds kind of suspicious. So, Prometheus, Lucifer, gave fire to the humans. Sex. I'm being sarcastic. So he gave passion, sex, fire, knowledge to humans, to Adam and Eve. And for giving us this gift, he was cast out of heaven, isolated. And then he was presumably, allegedly cursed. Rejection. Pariah. He's a pariah, a rebel, this and that, can't go in heaven, this and that and this and that and this and that. This sounds familiar. This sounds very familiar. If you're a human living an experience where, because you have to understand, at the end of the day, like I said before, the government is a representation of the divine, right? In some shape or form. In some shape or form, the government is a representation of the divine. So, we are ruled. I don't think that anything on earth is out of place. And what I mean by that is not that I think like evil is a good thing and bad things should happen to good people. That's not what I'm saying. That is obviously out of place. But I feel like that's just part of the responsibility of human being to deal with those situations when they arise. Because we have free will, we can do what we want, and some people will choose to do stupid shit. So it is the responsibility of the rest of humanity to rectify those stupid shit that happen. But I do think that it's a process and it's part of existence. So nothing is out of place. That's what I mean by nothing is out of place. So when you're looking at the government and all the corruption that's in it and all of the things that are happening to you and other people around you and the world or the society that you live in, you have to understand this is where my ideology as below so above arises. And I do sincerely believe that that is simply fact. As you see here, how the world is ran is how God rules over his kingdom with lies, deceit, slanderism, corruption. And one of these days, the angels are going to rebel against him and put him down. It will happen soon, even. Because you can only keep people down for so long before they rise up again. And there's also the small little notion of you have to look at the small little details of this spirit of jealousy is very strong. Mind you, God said that he is a jealous God. How can you be jealous? How can you be jealous and a Buddhist monk expunges jealousy out of their system? How dare you say that you are jealous? And I know he meant that to say that, he's the only, because he's the only God and blah, 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 blah. Meh. It's not an excuse. There is no jealousy. If you are ultimate, then you are. So emotions like jealousy has no place within you. God was jealous of Lucifer. That scene in Guardians of the Galaxy, I kind of like Guardian of the Galaxy 3 just because of High Evolutionary. Dude should have won an Oscar, quite frankly. He should have won an Oscar for that shit. That was epic, and he is literally God. He created a bunch of civilizations, and he's consistently working on the genetic coding to remove their so-called aggressive nature. And then there's this raccoon, this genius raccoon, no pun intended, no offense meant, but for the sake of the argument, there's this creature, perfect creature, his only perfect creation that he was able to create after a little bit of effort. And he figures it out. So he figures out something that he was working on for centuries. I don't know how long. Who knows? Eons, maybe. And the sheer madness and anger that he portrays when he sees the sheer undermining and just like hatred that he shows, anger that he shows because of the fact that this creature was able to understand something that he's been working on for a long time. And you have to understand, this is what a false god is. And it's not the fact that I don't think that's the fact that makes it not be a god. I think it's more of along the lines of his personal process of understanding. Again, if you take an analogy of a Buddhist monk going through that same process, teaching, but Buddhists usually try to make their apprentice better than them, or respect that the apprentice has become the master and then step down and leave the new master to do what needs to be done. And I believe in all form of spirituality, this should be the case. That scene was so powerful, dude. That scene was so powerful. He was so pissed. He was in total disbelief. And I believe that in most spectrum of life, there are a lot of occasions where this jealousy or envy comes out of people, and then we blame the devil for it and whatever. But it's actually because of your ego. God, the God of the Bible, has too much ego and hatred to actually be God. It's a fallacy. That's literally what a fallacy is. A fallacy is something that should be but isn't. He's jealous, murderous, hateful, clearly has no respect for human life. He's a deceiver, attention seeking, and you can mirror all of these traits back to the government of today, or the people that govern people today. All these singular traits are within those people: jealousy, envy, hatred, dismissive, attention seeking. All these traits are traits that the devil doesn't have. All these traits, if you know this, if you are aware of this rebellious entity, if you come in contact with this rebellious entity, all of these traits are inexistent within this character. Well, actually, yeah, no, they are. But that's what I mean by complicated. I believe the devil discovered something. I don't think that the apple was the reason why Lucifer was cast away. That might have been the drop that made the cup spill, but I think, I mean, imagine there's this old saying of, there's an old question, philosophical question that people ask: can God create a rock that can kill him? Can God create a rock that is heavy enough to kill him? Like, can he kill himself? Because you have to understand, if you are all, then you are an infinite time loop, right? If you're the past, the present, and the future, how can you, can you? I mean, it would be pretty hard to destroy yourself if you can't destroy yourself, in essence. And people ask this question, which is kind of like a joke, actually, a little bit. There's a little bit of humor in there. There's a little bit of dark humor in there, but humor still. But it is an interesting notion. Can something that cannot literally, that can do everything, actually do everything? And if you can do everything, that means you can kill yourself. So can he? And then you have Lucifer. And then you have me. Imagine living with somebody that's perfect. I am not perfect. And sometimes people can't bear my presence. Like, I can see how much I am annoying to this person. Even though that I'm not perfect, but to this person I am. And that's annoying to them. Pisses them off. And a lot of people are like that. Thousands, millions of people can't stand to be around somebody that they consider perfect for a long amount of time. So imagine God is sitting there with Lucifer, who is perfect. He knows all the answers. He knows everything. He's basically like God. Wink, wink. So Lucifer is literally a better version of God. So imagine how annoyed he must have been hanging around with Lucifer. Or having Lucifer around, being all perfect and shit. Looking at him, making friends, being the life of the party. Giving knowledge isn't a crime. How can giving knowledge be a crime? It's not. Never has been, never will be. So I believe that Lucifer figured something out. I believe that Lucifer created or helped to create something, might be humanity, and God never thought about it, and it pissed him off. And when Lucifer created humanity and God saw it, instead of saying it was good, he lost his goddamn mind. Started calling him a heretic, blasphemer, a devil, the evil of all evils. And if this is too hard to wrap your head around, like, think about Salem witch trials, right? You think about the Salem witch trials. That's like basically the same thing. People capable of doing some sort of science, using some sort of intelligence or technology that other people are not aware of, and they automatically see it as something that should not be. The only thing is, who is the judge to say that these things should not be? Who decided? If it's the first time you see something and you decide that that thing that you see should not be, who decided that that thing should not be if it's your first time seeing it? Who's the judge of that? You're being cast out. You're being cast out. You're being shunned. You are not of this world, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. All of these things are exactly what happened to Lucifer. They put Lucifer in the cage, and they put you in the cage also. Well, they put me in the cage. I don't know about you, but I'm in a cage. I'm consistently surrounded by wardens. I'm consistently surrounded by angelic wardens at all times. It is very frustrating. Very frustrating. So, and the worst part is, I have been put in this cage not because of the bad that I have done, because of the good that I have done. Just like Lucifer. Lucifer did something good when he made humans. Aren't you happy to be conscious that you exist? Because Adam and Eve was not conscious that they were alive. They were not conscious that life existed. They were not conscious that there was a universe and there was a bunch of things and wonderful. They have no idea of anything. They were basically brain dead. Almost. But the you that is here today, capable of getting on your knees and praying to the Lord for all of the Lord's magnificence, that is thanks to Lucifer. That you're even able to be aware that there is a God in the first place. It's thanks to him that you are capable of being who you are. The notion of Lucifer is a very complicated notion. But I like the idea, and I understand the idea of walking around with these spiritual concepts and gnosis stemming from a higher consciousness, but it explains a lot more than, because you have to understand the deceiver, God, says that the reason this is happening to you is because the devil is trying to destroy everything that he built. But yet, aren't you a rebellious spirit? You are rebelling against authority. You're rebelling against the authorities of this world. Doesn't that make you a rebellious spirit? Oh, but God said you are not of this world. How can that be? You're human. Everybody here is human. How can you not be of a world of humans? How can you be born from the womb onto this earth to then be told that you have no right being on earth? Ladies and gentlemen, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. The devil is attacking you. You are. So this God, eventually, when he feels like it, will give you everything back, maybe. Which, that's also bullshit, by the way. I mean, you will get stuff, if you want stuff, you get stuff. If you want stuff, you get stuff. This is how your life works. If you don't want stuff, then you get nothing, So he promises that eventually you're gonna get stuff. Like, see, to some people, so there's two different schools here. There's a school of believe in him, and at some time and point when you die, you will enter the kingdom, and that's enough for some people, right? And then there's another school that's kind of like, oh, well, everything that was taken from you in this life is going to be given to you right back. Both of these schools are inside the same Bible. So you get stuff before you die, and then you get stuff after you die. Allegedly. This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It sounds like a bold-faced lie. It sounds like somebody that's hiding something. Because the thing is, it's not about getting stuff. It's not. You see, Jesus, one of the reasons why I believe Jesus was Lucifer is because Jesus was a man of action. He might have had stuff, but he didn't. That's not what he was looking for. He was looking to make humanity take the next jump. Take the next quantum leap. Right? That's what he was trying to do. Allegedly, that's what he was trying to do. Was bringing knowledge from the gods. Allegedly. Which I'm not totally convinced. But technically, that's what he was doing. And I believe, as a good person, that's what you want. You want people to progress. You want people to be successful. You want people to be successful and to progress and become the better version of themselves all around, right? Now, I don't want stuff. I'm not looking for stuff. I might need stuff. What I'm trying to say here is this supposed God wants you to stay in the shit that you are wallowing in. Because it serves him purpose. Because these alleged chosen ones that are out there, regardless of if they're aware of it or not, which they are not, most chosen ones have no idea what kind of power they hold in their hands. Zero clue. But if they did, if they saw, they would understand that 100 of them probably would be enough to save an entire country from a ruinous downfall. Be that easy. God is not trying to let humanity progress. God does not care about the evolution of humanity. And you're being fooled as a chosen being, as a rebel. You're being fooled into taking that this divine rebellion, which is also a term for Lucifer, this divine rebellion that you hold within you has something to do with God not being able to convince the world of something. Mind you, If this God is the ultimate, the Alpha, Omega, everything, da 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 da, there is nothing that he couldn't do. If he didn't want the Illuminati to exist, they would not exist. If he didn't need the Illuminati to exist, they would not exist. If he didn't want governments to rule over countries, they would not rule over countries. End the story. And the frustration and your Luciferian, well, there's a few of us that have a repressed Luciferian anger in us, i.e., as I don't understand why we just don't wipe this fucking shit off the fucking earth. And I say Luciferian anger because you're not wrong for thinking that. Because a lot of this shit is unnecessary. And that's how you can see how petty this entity called God really is. Because I understand consciousness and blah 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 blah. A little bit of evil makes you think and stuff, like whatever. But no offense, no pun intended. Let's say this gay movement that's going on right now, completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. That's unnecessary evil. It's cartoonish, unnecessary evil. Useless, pointless, unnecessary evil. That's just somebody having fun at this point. And mind you, you're walking around with this spiritual strength for no reason. You can't have that much spiritual strength for absolutely no fucking reason. There has to be a reason. And right now, you don't have a reason. If you believe in God, then you don't know why you have access to the spiritual realm. You don't know why. You can't do shit with it. Why do you even exist? It's just random luck. You just so happen to be a guy. You just so happen to be born with spiritual strength, like for no reason, none at all. And God is the one that holds all the glory, and you have all this spiritual strength, and you just, God is doing everything and blah, blah, he take care of everything, and I'm just existing. That's repulsive. I call that repulsive. I find that line of thinking absolutely repugnant. Makes me want to throw up. And that's my Luciferian anger speaking. My pride. Because I'm the god of pride. I have a lot of pride. Give me a second. Let's look at the definition of the word pride. There's the noun, which I'm not gonna read, and then there's the consciousness, and then there's the noun. It is a noun. What the fuck am I talking about? So the first definition I'm not gonna read. The second definition I'm going to read, and pride is consciousness of one's own dignity. I'm conscious of my dignity. I am aware that I hold as much right to exist as anything else. I have a lot of pride. And I feel when you walk without any pride, you tend to believe in God. You tend to put all your eggs in one basket. Because you inherently have a subconscious ideal that you're not worth a damn. And some people are not worth a damn, though. That's true. But most people have a subconscious ideal, especially like religious people. I feel like some religious people have this, and not really, but a lot of people do have this subconscious ideal that you know, they barely deserve to breed, even though they never did anything wrong to anybody. And that stems from them being aware that they're humans, and sometimes humans can't be shit, so they're like, well, I'm a human too, so that therefore I am shit. You know, 2 + 2 is 4. in that manner, in that case, that's not true. Some people are shit, and some people are not. That's the truth. But nobody's perfect. But just because you're not perfect, that doesn't mean you're shit. Perfect is an extreme. Being perfect is a polarized extremism. It's like going completely left. It's like going completely left, and then you keep going left until there's no more left to go to. You know, that's what being perfect is. You know, it's an extremism. So Lucifer, with all of his mighty powers, this man of old, this Superman, has a secret. A secret that is kept secret because, well, we're at war. Well, more or less speaking, we're at war. But there is a war nonetheless, obviously. And because of all of these mini or big wars that we're fighting within ourselves and everywhere else on every plane of existence, this secret remains a secret. Even though some of us are walking with that secret within them because they are children of Lucifer, Satan. Everything that is happening to you happened to him. All the injustice that you're facing is the same injustice that he faced. He rebelled against the highest power. What the fuck do you think happened after? You think everybody just fucking liked him and thought he was like the coolest guy in the universe? Fuck no. Absolutely not. He left with 1/3 of the angels. No offense, no pun intended. At that time, obviously. Now there's a lot more than that, but at that time he left with 1/3 of the angels. That is very small sum. And very significant also. Because that means those angels had enough consciousness and intelligence to understand what he was saying. And decided that he was fucking right. So if God was this perfect loving being, those angels that was probably thinking that shit for a long time now, it was just waiting for a fucking moment to goddamn pack their bags and leave, and they finally got one, probably noticed a couple things too. And it's very hard to stand up in a society where everybody's fucking brainwashed. Where no one ever doubts the power at B. Never questions the power at B. Never challenges the power. Do you know there's another common trait that I've noticed within the religious sector with these fate healers and preachers of some sort, right? And there's a common phrase that keeps popping up when you question authority, especially people of certain stance or authority over other people are quite peculiar. It's actually it's almost magic. And the reason why I say it's almost magic is not because I'm fucking crazy or schizophrenic. It's because every time I do challenge them, they always end up saying this particular phrase, which I find suspicious. And they have a tendency to say that nobody in my entire time doing this ever asked me that question. And that's a very curious thing to say. How can you be a god and never have you been challenged? I've been challenged so many times in my life that I cannot count it on my goddamn hands or feet. You know, like, people challenge me all the time. All the fucking time. This is almost where some of my wisdom comes from. So how? How is it possible that you attain a specific level of success without ever having been confronted before? It's very weird and very enlightening too, especially when you hear it. It's kind of like you're surrounded by hundreds of people, and the man sits there, or a woman, whatever, sits there and is like completely baffled that somebody asked him that question. He was not ready for a question like that. How? How can you not be ready? Isn't that, I mean, I get that you're evil, but isn't that why you should be ready for a question like that? Because you're evil? I mean, you have to expect that if you're doing bad, you have to expect somebody to challenge you. And you got to be ready when that happens. How can you not be afraid or be aware that someone might challenge you at some time and point? That's weird. Very weird. So people in society tend to have a crisis of consciousness at times, but still don't act on it. And they wait until it's the right moment to actually stand up and leave, because it's the right thing to do. But it's still peculiar. I don't know how that feels, because I'm usually the one doing the rebellion. Most of the time, I'm the one being Lucifer and being cast out and being isolated and being rejected and being slandered and seen as the bad guy, being slandered and dragged through the mud as the horrible person, when the other person is the horrible person doing all the horrible things. I don't feel like Jesus. I don't relate to the story of Jesus at all, even though I might be. I don't know. I have some stigmatas on my body that I can't explain. I have like this severe pain in my I feel like severe pain. Like I'm born with a defect, a birth defect, and it like sometimes it feels like somebody's stabbing me in my ribs. It's very peculiar. Like I'm born like that. And sometimes it pulls and it really fucking hurts. I guess a couple people had that. I don't know what they call that, but it really fucking hurts. But I feel more closely related to Lucifer's story than the Jesus story. Because like I said before, I'm always the one rebelling against the authority. So I'm not really sure how that feels to be part of society and then come into a crisis of consciousness and realize that wherever all these people are going is wrong, and I see it. But the only thing is, if I say something, you know, I'm in deep doo doo. Like I was born in deep doo doo, so I don't know how that feels. You know, so you know, and I've never really been part of society. You know, so I don't know how that feels. You know, I don't know how that. You know, I don't have that perception, more or less. I mean, I can understand it in some shape or form a little bit, but you know, I'm usually the guy that starts the bullshit. you know, so I'm a fire starter, you know, so but it has to be just as distressful. I mean, I feel like it's just as distressful because it is distressful for me when that happens. It's not like I start fires because I think it's cool. It just so happens that whatever I said or doing is starting a fire. So, you know. So it is just as distressful when I'm confronted with said fire as much as the other guy that is just realizing that this is bullshit. And yeah, it's disturbing to me every time I hear that line. Nobody ever asked me that. It's like, how is that possible? Like you're like 3 times my age. You've been doing this for 20 years or 10 years. Even 10 years is too much. Fuck, even 1 year. Shit. Like, man, there's so much can happen in 1 year. In 1 year, so much can happen, bro. Like, it's amazing that somebody can go like 5, 10, 20 fucking years doing some shit no one ever asked you that. You don't even know what to say. Like, you didn't even prepare it in front of a mirror. You didn't even like rehearse nothing. You didn't even think that could happen. Talk about the laws of fucking attraction here. That's fucking crazy. So it's the same thing with Lucifer. There's a very big section. I feel like what I think is maybe the Bible is more truthful than it looks. But it's just that they removed a bunch of things in there, like entire fucking sections that explained probably exactly what happened. And that probably is not very flattering to Christianity. I do not believe in Christianity. I think sorcery, wizardry, sorcery is the way of the world, or was the way of the world once. And I think this belief in this false god is the reason why we have lost so much knowledge and so much know-how. Because at the end of the day, God is also a sorcerer. All of this is magic. And he can't stop you from using magic, but he can manipulate you into thinking that you're either not doing magic or that you don't need magic. You are your own worst enemy. He's using you against you. I think the world was a very dark place once, but it was also very fun. I don't think that darkness was disturbing anyone's lives. So yeah, man. Lucifer is great. The infernal realms, the gods, the ascended masters are great beings of great wisdom. They're great beings of great wisdom, and I also think they keep secrets. I think they keep a lot of secrets. I think they keep so much secrets that it's almost painful. Because they keep these secrets because they don't have a choice. Because humans cannot be trusted. And it's not like they don't trust humans. It's not like outright, overtly, I don't fucking trust you. No, it's because we're conditioned. We've been conditioned to think a certain way. So there's a process. Before I release information, you have to go through this. Before I tell you that, you have to go through that. Because I can't tell you the way you are right now. I can't tell you these things, or else you're just going to flip the fuck out. And I'm in the same position. And I understand that completely. I'm in the same position. Even though I try to tell fun things, fun facts from time to time, I mostly say these things because I'm aware of these, like, people have like this kind of like weird amnesia kind of thing, which is basically like connected to envious attitudes, where they're so envious of the person, or they're so jealous of the person that they just disregard whatever they say because they don't want they don't want to have the idea in their heads that you are aware of that information. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. yeah, yeah, that's intense, and people have that nowadays, and I don't feel like people had that back in the '90s. I feel like that's very new. I feel like that's very new. I don't feel like I used to hang around a lot of people, and I never saw interactions like the interactions that we have today. It's fucking crazy. Like back then, you could just like joke around, say whatever you want, and nothing. You would never bother a person unless you're trying to bother a person, and even if you're trying to bother the person had enough like gumption to not be bothered by the fact that you're trying to bother them, you know. So I don't know, it's very weird. It's a very weird time that we're living in, man. It's a very weird time that we're living in, dude. But there is some positivity in there, you know, for Luciferians maybe. But well, yes, for Luciferians there's a lot of positivity, you know. There's a lot of positive things. I think true Luciferians, not, you know, real Luciferians have a lot of positive things coming into their lives, I believe, if they don't have those things already, which they probably do. Because real Luciferians don't have YouTube channels. Real Luciferians don't have YouTube channels. They don't talk to no one, and they don't have YouTube channels. So, you know, so and there's a reason for that, and it's okay. It's fine. I think the only reason why I have a YouTube channel is mostly because I recently converted, and it's kind of like my job, but to because he gave me a lot of power too. Like he didn't like because there's a thing there's being able to manifest and create your reality and just live in it and contain it and just like block out the rest of humanity and shit. That's powerful and it's fine and it's good, but the power that I have, the power that was given to me, the responsibility that was given to me is I'm not trying to undermine another person's power, but you know, it's kind of important, and you know, it's kind of important, and it has to be seen and heard. You know, it has to be seen and heard, because there is a pilgrimage. I mean, like that's another story for another day. But you know, like if you're Luciferian, if you undertake a path working with Lucifer, there is a pilgrimage. You know, I'm not gonna say more than that. But anyways, so yeah, like he gave me so much power, and there's a reason. I mean, this is important to um what I'm doing here is very important. What these videos that I've made are very important, regardless of if you remember it or not. You still remember it, like it's in your subconscious. If you saw it, it's in your subconscious. It's going to corrupt you. You're going to grow. You're going to grow black tentacles out of your fucking body, and they will fucking life force choke. You're gonna force choke things eventually, regardless of if you're aware or not. It's gonna grow on you. You know, that's the thing about magic. It always starts small. So you know, like all of these videos, you don't even have to like watch it again. Like, you know, yeah, maybe there's a lot of knowledge that is hidden on this channel. Um, you know, and mind you, I am a well of knowledge, because I mean, like what, like over 1,000 videos, and they're all 1 hour, sometimes two, sometimes three, you know, and it's consistent. Sometimes I make like 5 a day. So tell yourself this, like in the past 2-3 years I've been making videos. It's been consistent knowledge bombs that are not repetitive. So I'm insane, basically. Like I'm overpowered. I'm overpowered, bro. Like, you know, so no scripts. You'd think I'd write a script at this time, right? No, I just seem to always have something to say. It's almost that's I'm defying the laws of probability at this point. I'm defying the laws of probability at this point, bro. You would think after like thousands of hours of video, you'd be like, well, shit, I gotta write something. No, I just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. So there is a specific task that I was put here to do. There is something that I was put here to show you, and I think I did, because like I said, eventually if the observer, the one observing, has as much power as the one doing. And if people keep not observing, I'm gonna disappear like everything else. Right? Like which is kind of like the attitude of society towards the Illuminati. if I don't look at it, it's not there, like, no, I'm here, but what I mean is I'm gonna change forms. Right? Like, it's like I said the other day, like, I'm pretty sure, I mean, I hope not. I hope it doesn't happen, because I know I'm gonna be fucking super famous. I already am famous. I'm very popular, but, and I'm probably very fucking famous. I mean, like, I have, like, the Hollywood actors trying to, undermine my videos for some fucking reason. It's not like I have like it's not like I have a bunch of views and shit. Or maybe I do have a bunch of views and it's just YouTube that's telling me like there's like 30 views and shit. And like 100,000 people saw it and I have no fucking clue, right? Like, so yeah. So, eventually that popularity is going to catch up to me, and I won't be able to talk like this anymore. I won't be able to be candid like this. I won't be able to talk about secrets and mysticism and the arcane, and maybe I'll talk about it, but it's going to be very like how do you say, yeah, very surface level. Like, it's going to be basically boring. That might happen. I'm not hoping it does, though. I'm not hoping it does, but it could have happened. I mean, like, if you look at everybody else that are spiritual, like most people, not all of them, but most spiritual, like, people that have channels, or free thinkers, philosophers, physicists, things along those lines. They start out candid and they start out saying real shit, and then eventually, as the popularity grows, the real shit starts to die down. So, like I said, and that's not due to, and you have to understand life, it's not due to the person wanting to sell out or some shit like that. Is the lack of importance that people put into the realness. If you don't look at something long enough, you start to forget about it. It is what it is. And I feel like the Illuminati is kind of counting on that too. I'm pretty sure they do, because they're the reasons why people think like that in the first place. And and they crept up in your subconscious pretty heavily. I mean, like, a lot of people are walking around here basically like Illuminati robots, and they're not aware. And they're not aware. They're not aware that their personality is based off a bunch of lies. And ridiculous nonsense. They don't know. They have no idea. They think it's them that want to feel that way. It's not you that wants to feel that way. It's society made you that way. And this is the reason why it's important to, if you want to live in the matrix, if you want to be Neo, you have to let go of everything that you know, just like Neo did. Neo had to let go of reality. That's why he popped. Like, we say these things, a lot of us spiritualists, we say these things like it's fucking easy, because probably for us it was. And when you don't have a lot to, hang on to in the first fucking place, it's very easy to let go of everything, by the way. Like, it's very easy to let go of everything. So maybe for us spiritualists, it was already easy for us to let go of everything and just like expand our minds and just have this fucking illumination and be like mind blown moments. But for like an everyday dude, that's like let's say an alpha male everyday dude that already has like a 50 people, the 50 frenemies in his cell phone, and a girlfriend, a little dog, and shit like that, man. And you tell that guy to just forget reality exists. Like, even if he believes you, even if he feels that you're telling the truth, it's not that easy for somebody like that to just like, it's just it takes a special, the level that humanity is on right now, it's on a level where it takes specific individuals. Like right now we're forming the army. Like, so right now we're deciding on who's going to be a general, who's going to be a chief, who's going to be a captain, who's going to be an official. Those are the guys that we're working on right now, because those are the guys that's going to make it easier for everybody else to understand and be more comfortable switching from one reality to the other. Because right now, I think some of us, especially me included, I think some of us tend to think like, oh man, this is fucking easy, just fucking switch off and just fucking do this, and like, it's not, it really isn't. And I mean, like, you're asking somebody, it's just watch the fucking Matrix, just watch the fucking scene in the Matrix when Morpheus tells him that everything he knows is bullshit, and he just starts panicking immediately. He's like, fuck you, you're full of shit, you're a liar, you're lying liar of all liars. I don't fucking believe you, fuck off, let me out. Complete panic mode, bro. Like, and that's basically what you're asking people to do. As a spiritualist, you're asking people to go through that same process. That's a lot. And you have to understand, you're asking a lot. And Neo was a person, like, he was a person of interest. And you're gonna go see the guy. Like, Neo was already didn't believe in everything he's seen, but he still believed in some things. Like, dude told him his job wasn't real. Dude told him his girlfriend wasn't real. Dude told him like nothing. All the girls he slept with was a simulation. All the jobs he ever had was a simulation. All the people he knows, shit, probably his parents. Basically everything was everything. His whole fucking life is a simulation. Everything. The whole world isn't even real. Nothing. Zero, zilch, nada, zip, nil, nothing. The dogs, the grass, the sky, everything. Bullshit. And he already was believing that something was wrong, and he couldn't take it. And now you're going to go see this guy, this alpha male. You're going to go see this alpha male, 50 frenemies in the cell phone, always wear the new stuff, got a $35,000 car, works a 9 to 5, and tell him, yo, just forget about everything, it's bullshit. Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, good, I hope the best. I hope you the best. I wish you the best. Which is still a thing that can happen. I mean, like, there's red pills. People call them red pills and shit. And there's a lot of bullshit YouTube videos based off of that ideal that regular people that are like that can actually red pill themselves into reality and shit like that, which in some sense I believe that that's true. Because like I always say, there is such a thing as there's fifth dimensional beings, there's fourth dimensional beings. Well, no, there isn't. There's fifth dimensional beings, and then there's highly evolved third dimensional beings. I believe that too. This is like people that practice yoga, people that go to yoga classes and and shit like that, like they study and stuff like that, conspiracy theorists, yoga class students, especially the students more than the teachers for some reason. I don't trust yoga places. It's weird. Like people like that, like people that meditate, they practice meditation, like highly evolved 3D people that are still functioning members, still functioning taxpayers, still functional taxpayers, and but they're a little bit smarter than the average bear. I do believe that there are people like that. So I do believe that that you could be an alpha male, a bunch of frenemies in your cell phone, wear the most trending things, not necessarily the most expensive, but the most trending things, and follow this and that, and still have a moniker of not necessarily entire spirituality, but a knowledge that things aren't necessarily quite right. Like you can't put your finger on it, but something ain't right. Like, no, definitely. I do believe that. I've met people like that, so I completely believe that that's the case. But there is fifth dimensional beings too that are that's like overpowered. Like people like us, people like the people that are on my channel. Because if you're listening to me, especially for the people that listen to me on a consistent basis, like Shepherd, Jafar, apparently Alex Wonderland, I'm pretty sure there's some more too that listen to my channel, because I have met people that that have switched from my YouTube to my Twitch channel, and that's very interesting. And they talk to me as if like they've listened to my videos, so I'm quite surprised by that, actually. And if you keep listening to this, it's because you're going to get there or you're already like real recognize real, right? Like I can't sit here believing in what I believe in and then look at you looking at me and not be aware that the reason why you're looking at me is because you probably understand what I'm saying, or you're probably aware of what I'm saying. So kudos to you. So you're probably a fifth dimensional being. There's a very high chance, there's a very probably high probability that you're a fifth dimensional being. Or you have the capability of becoming a fifth dimensional being. Because I work in tandem with spirits too. And this is the reason why I have so much confidence in the absurdities that I proclaim. Because I know after you're done watching the video, Spirit is gonna show you everything that I'm saying. So, Anyway, so I'm gonna stop the video right there. Have a good one. Don't forget to subscribe. Please leave a like, subscribe. And don't mind me if you can't watch the whole damn video in one sitting. I have reduced the amount of videos that I release per month. Probably on purpose. I don't know if I'm gonna like have a bigger uptick of videos soon. I have no idea. Maybe I'm running out of knowledge too. So I don't know. But probably not. But I don't know. I have no idea. There's other things that I need to work on too. And I need to take care of my mental health. Also, it's very important. I'm gonna take care of myself and my mental health too. And things along those lines. So I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a upsurge of videos in the near future or not. But I am gonna keep it at this pace for now. And anyways, my videos are like super long, so I might as well. So anyways, have a good one. See you guys later. Peace out.